Hey, my name's Chuck, and today we're going to be exploring Stonebridge Road and Gulpha Gorge. So here I am today at Rick's Pond. Rick's Pond is a pond that's on Stonebridge Road, and I'm obviously standing on a stone bridge. This is one of the two stone bridges that are on this road that exist from the Fordyce estate. Rick's Pond was originally named Lake Lillian. Lake Lillian was named after John Fordyce's wife. Back in the 1920s, when he inherited this estate from his father, Samuel Fordyce, he decided to make this lake so that his wife could have a place to enjoy. And it's pretty cool. They've got a couple of stone bridges. One of them is for a water wheel, and the other is for the actual lake. They've also got some, I want to say stone docks, because there's originally a lake house, and they've got a big dam, and we're going to try to take a look at all of it today. You can hear some big old bullfrogs in the distance. We've got here what appears to be an old fireplace on the opposite side of the bridge. I'm sure that at some point it's probably a little shack or something, and you could make a little fire and enjoy yourself here. So this land was originally part of the Fordyce estate. Samuel Fordyce in the late 1800s had bought about 1,100 acres of land between Gulpha Gorge and Northern Park Avenue. Just had an absolutely massive parcel of land. He decided this is where he wanted to live. So on the top of the hill behind me, he built a 4,300 square foot log cabin, and he'd lived there until his death in 1924.
And here's a picture of the Fordyce cabin.
This trail here used to serve as the last leg of Sunset Trail. Sunset Trail is a big trail that goes all along the Zigzag Mountains and Hot Springs, and this leg right here would cross the road and go over to Gulpha Gorge Camp. I'm going to try to sneak back here and see if I can't see the docks. You can kind of tell that this path isn't used anymore. I think it's partly because it crosses over onto what is now private property. The actual house that Samuel Fordyce had on top of this hill and the land surrounding it is private property. So I'm doing kind of a naughty.
He's a very naughty boy!
It used to be that this was a little bit better maintained, but I think because of cuts in funding to the National Park Service, it hasn't been maintained the way that it used to be. That's unfortunate. On a nice, cool spring or fall day with the wind going like this, it's an absolutely lovely spot to sit and have a little bit of a picnic or go fishing. So this is truly one of the treasures of Hot Springs, in my opinion. Here we are coming up on the dam that makes Rick's Pond / Lake Lillian possible. This dam is definitely a testament to old school masonry. Yeah, it's incredible the fact that it's still here. It was built, that'd have been 80, 90 years ago, and it's still holding this pond together for us to enjoy. It's really creepy being like eye level with the pond. Here's a picture of the boathouse that used to be here. I guess it was tore down in the 1990s. It's a good thing I put off on today. The bugs are going to be nasty with all of this greenery surrounding me. And here is the stone bridge that lets you go over to the water wheel and pump house that they use to generate electricity. I will say this though, it is absolutely grown up compared to what I remember. Obviously they're not maintaining this for the sake of tourism. But I'm going to walk over anyways, and we're going to try to get a look at that pump house. Kind of incredible that this thing is still standing, but obviously it's very narrow. I mean, you're looking at something that's no more than 2 feet wide. And then you've got this beautiful water flowing below. Here we are approaching the old pump house. I don't even know if it was a pump house necessarily. I think it was a house specifically for generating electricity. Kind of looks like the kind of place where maybe like it would live. Walk down some stairs here. We're gonna look inside. That's crazy. And here's a random hole that you can break your leg in. It definitely looks like some sort of pumping mechanism. Although I was under the impression that this was for generating electricity. But honestly, the pipes don't look terribly old. Now we're almost getting to the end of Stonebridge Road, and it's got a pretty ornate entrance to it as well. Both ways and walk, I guess. Alright, I'm safe. And we cross another road and try our best not to die. Over here we have a stone wall that would have originally been part of the Fordyce estate. And you can see this exit over here would have been the original exit for Sunset Trail. But again, unfortunately, it's private property, so we're not allowed to use it anymore. Now, before I go ahead and go up Gulpha Gorge Road, you'll notice that we're a bit of a crossroads. If you look behind me here, look behind me here. There used to be a street that connected all the way over to another street way up Park Avenue. And there's a sewage line, and there's some also power lines that run up through here, so they had to clear it out. But it's been abandoned for quite some time. I'll go up a little bit of that, but what I really want to show you before I go back to Gulpha Gorge Trail and go all the way over to Gulpha Gorge Camp is I want to show you an old hidden bridge that must have been part of the Fordyce estate at some point.
This must have been an old road that was part of the Fordyce estate. If you go down to it, there's an old stone bridge hidden in the woods. I've never heard mention of it before. So I'm on top of what looks like a little bit of a bonus bridge. I've been here before, but I didn't quite remember that it was a bridge. That's pretty neat though. You know, this road has to be really old because of how covered up it is by saplings. Nobody's traveled this in a long, long time. Except for me, of course. There's a little spider friend. I'm going to try not to disturb him. Now I'm really glad I put that off on. Man, this is pretty cool. You gotta see this. So here we have this bridge, and it's not particularly far from the highway, but I have to believe that because of the style it's made in, that it's somehow related to the Fordyce estate, because the Fordyce family, afterwards the Ricks family, owned tons of land all over these mountains. And here's the weird thing about this bridge. I've never heard it mentioned anywhere in any sort of history books. As far as where the road goes after this, it looks like it kind of just merges into the two-lane highway up there, no more than maybe 60 yards away, 70 yards away. I think just to avoid the infinite amount of spider webs and getting my legs tore up and getting eaten by bugs, I'm going to walk along the highway back to Gulpha Gorge Trail. And across the road you can see more of the stone walls that existed, and it looks like there's a gap in that stone wall specifically to cross over to this side of the road. I may be eating here after this. This chicken sounds delicious. Alright, here we are back at the start of the Gulpha Gorge Trail. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. So Gulpha Gorge Trail actually follows old Gulpha Gorge Road. Back in 1947, I want to say, they had made a road and it went all the way up on the edge of the mountain. And I think it was a one lane from what I can tell. And they had decided by 1958 that this road wasn't going to be able to handle much traffic. So they went ahead and remade the road as the two lane down in the valley. So fortunately, today, we get the opportunity to see where this old road was. We get to see some pretty cool features of it. You can tell where the road actually was. You can see some retaining walls. It's pretty interesting. Again, I cannot tell you how blessed we are to have the national park system. We get the opportunity to go out and interface with nature and to see history in ways that people in other areas just don't. Hot Springs is very fortunate in that regard. And this is just one of several examples where we get to truly enjoy all that our forefathers wrought for us. We have here what appears to be some sort of abandoned trail that goes up to the top of the mountain. It obviously hasn't been used in years and years. It may have been an old horse trail. It may have just been a way to get to the top of the mountain. I don't know. What we have right here is a bit of a widowmaker situation. You do not generally want to walk under things like this. It'll kill you. As I say, don't walk under it. I did walk under it. I'm aware of the dangers. Just, you need to be aware of them as well. So here we are at the big retaining wall they had to make in order to have this road be a thing. And it is absolutely massive. It's amazing to me that 70, 80 years ago this was built and it's still standing today. It goes really far down. I can't even see how far it goes down. Alright, let's keep it moving. We've seen about all we need to see here, except for these big old rocks. Wowza. And here's the end. Ooh, K plus B 2023. Obviously you can tell I'm breaking a little bit of a sweat, but it's really not that unreasonable. It's probably like 92 or 93. This is fine. This is fine. The road kind of fizzled out as it approached the new road. I'm assuming that they kind of overlaid where the roads went. So the hiking from here on out is going to be a little bit rougher just because we have to go up the hillside a little bit. That's strange. Why would somebody leave 2 pairs of shoes here? They're not walking this barefoot, are they? That would be very painful. Alright, now we're coming up on Gulpha Gorge campgrounds. Finally making it. back in the 30s, they'd actually dammed up the Gulpha Gorge Creek, and they had a big swimming hole with a diving board. And up until 1941, people would come and cool off and swim and have a good time. But unfortunately, the National Park Service ended up breaking the dam up and shutting it down, citing health concern. Don't want to say that they said there was some sort of pollutants in the water or something like that. You think maybe pollutants in the water was like code for like people are pooping in the water or peeing in the water? I don't know exactly. That's that's what I'm getting from that article. It's kind of hard to believe that this bridge was made in the late 50s. I think it was 1958 whenever this road was established, so this bridge would have had to have been made at that point. It makes me wonder if it isn't also part of the old road that used to go up and over along the mountainside. One of the really cool things about these campgrounds is that you can hike all the way from here to downtown. You can hike all the way from here to the top of the mountain. You can hike all the way from here to Stonebridge Road. They've got just a ton of trails that allow you to do just about anything you want to. And it's very, very close to town. I mean, if you wanted to go to a gas station, it's no more than a 5-minute drive at most. And I think that's pretty neat. Alright folks, and there you have it. That's all I had planned for today. Been a heck of a hike. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video. Comment if you have any information that I don't know about this place. I'm sure that I don't know everything. And if you want to see more videos like this, I've got a ton more planned. I've got at least 15 in the pipeline. I'm going to go hiking to various places, or I'm going to be driving to various towns, and I'm going to try to explore. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.